The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, November 25, reveal that the investigation into Sharon Newman's crimes may get more confusing for Chance Chancellor. Phyllis Summers tells Chance about Sharon's texts in Friday's show and accuses her of luring her onto the road. Will Chance grill Sharon about those texts on Monday's episode and get another piece of the puzzle? Sharon didn't have her phone at the time, and even Faith Newman can back her up on that since she helped search for it at Crimson Lights. Of course, Nick Newman already feels like there may be more to the story when it comes to all the Sharon chaos. Once Nick gets updates on this strange phone situation, he may latch onto the idea that someone else was involved. Jordan is actually the one who ran Phyllis off the road, so she may have sent the texts before leaving Sharon's phone at the cottage, where Sharon eventually found it. Jordan and Ian Ward's plot is also the reason Heather Stevens faced a grim fate, so Sharon isn't as guilty as she thinks. Now Ian wants Jordan to disguise herself and report back with news on the emotional state of Sharon's daughters, Faith and Mariah Copeland. That could mean we'll see Jordan in another one of her crazy get-ups soon. As for Adam Newman, will he interact with Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra after spotting them locking lips at the athletic club? It's possible Billy will take this opportunity to gloat a little now that Sally is the new lady in his life. Even if Adam manages to avoid a confrontation with Billy, Y and R spoilers suggest he'll continue to fume over Sally's romantic development. However, Victor Newman may urge Adam to just put Sally in the rearview mirror and focus on the woman he actually belongs with. That's Chelsea Lawson as far as Victor is concerned, so he may push Adam to invite her to Thanksgiving dinner at the ranch. Chelsea will indeed score an invitation at some point during the week of November 25 to 29, so she'll have a chance to bond with Adam a bit more once the holiday gets underway. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Thanksgiving preparations will indeed start up soon enough, so stick with us for more predictions on all the parties that are looming. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers preview video for the week of November 25 to 29 reveals that some surprising moments are ahead as Geno City celebrates Thanksgiving. There's been a lot of drama in the Abbott family lately, and it turns out there will be a little more before Jack Abbott makes a huge confession. After Diane Jenkins Abbott makes her presence known at the Abbott mansion, Tracy Abbott and Ashley Abbott will be taken aback. Ashley will ask if Jack wants her to throw Diane out since she'd be happy to help with that. Of course, Jack will insist Diane isn't going anywhere before ultimately spilling the truth to his sisters. Diane and Jack's marriage destruction was all part of their plan to gain control of Glissade and prove to Kyle Abbott that he couldn't count on Victor Newman. Although Tracy and Ashley won't approve of all the deception, they may express happiness for Jack, since his love life isn't a total train wreck after all. Meanwhile, it looks like Nate Hastings will invite Amy Lewis over to his place for a little Thanksgiving meal too. With Devin Winters on his honeymoon with Abby Winters and Lily Winters potentially off celebrating with the twins, Nate may ask Amy to join him so neither of them has to be alone. However, Amy will worry that her decision to stay there has added pressure on Nate. Once Nate promises it hasn't affected his decision, Amy will wonder if he's reached one about whether he's willing to meet his brother. In the end, Nate may decide he's willing to help Amy track Damien down and deliver some shocking revelations. That said, finding Damien won't be easy, and Nate may make another prediction about the backlash that could result once Damien learns the truth about his father. At the Newman Ranch, Victor and Nikki Newman will host a family gathering as they give thanks. Nikki will make a speech of gratitude as she prepares to raise a glass with Victor and all their guests. In Y and R's weekly preview video, Victoria Newman, Cole Howard, Claire Newman, Nick Newman, Adam Newman, and Chelsea Lawson can all be seen gathered in the living room. Although Chelsea's invitation may come as a surprise to her, Adam may extend it with Victor's full approval. Chelsea will always be part of the Newman family through her connection to Connor Newman, but Victor will continue to hope for her romantic reunion with Adam as well. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some heartwarming Thanksgiving scenes are on the way, so stick with us for updates on any big news related to the upcoming holiday. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, November 22, reveal that Victor Newman will think the sky's the limit now that Nikki Newman is taking over Chancellor. After Victor makes a big announcement about Nikki's leadership at the company, he'll expect his wife to do great things. Nikki will be excited about honoring Catherine Chancellor through her work and taking Chancellor to the next level. Speaking of taking things to the next level, that's what Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra seem poised to do at the athletic club. After a previous night out together, Sally rejected Billy's attempt to come inside her room for a nightcap since she just wasn't ready. However, Sally has grown closer to Billy since then, so she'll ultimately invite him in her room this time around. And our spoilers say Sally and Billy will sizzle in her suite, so it looks like they're on the verge of surrendering to temptation. Billy and Sally may ultimately land in bed together, so their romance should keep moving right along. Over with Chancellor, he'll make a major discovery related to Sharon Newman's case. Chance will find some serious evidence that incriminates Sharon and backs up her confession. This should make it more challenging for Michael Baldwin to get Sharon off the hook, but he'll remain committed to pursuing an insanity defense, at least as long as she'll let him. Of course, and our fans know Sharon isn't really to blame for causing Heather Stevens' demise or Phyllis Summers' car crash. Jordan and Ian Ward have been orchestrating things behind the scenes, but it may be a while before Chance or anyone else figures that out. Following Phyllis' awakening at the hospital, she'll no doubt have questions about what happened. Phyllis will ultimately be relieved to hear that Daniel's in the clear and that Sharon has been arrested, though the fact that Sharon is out on bail may enrage her all over again. Michael's decision to take Sharon's case won't go over well with Phyllis either, so we'll bring you more predictions on the conflict that's brewing. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis will have a lot of stunning news thrown at her soon, so stay tuned for all the updates headed her way. Be sure to make CDL your #1 source for all the scorching Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, updates, and news you need. The Young and the Restless scoop for Friday, November 22, reveals Sally Spectra and Billy Abbott will sleep together. Also coming up, Phyllis Summers will remember a vital clue about her accident. Plus, Victor Newman will ask Nick Newman and Adam Newman if Sharon Newman is a threat. And Daniel Romalotti and Summer Newman will have good news for their mom. And our spoilers tease Adam will ask Victor why he's been summoned to the ranch. Then Nick will arrive. Why is it that Sharon is out on bail after all that she has done? Victor will ask. Nick will say the DA was reasonable and Sharon's back at the cottage. And our daily scoop. Billy and Sally engage in a little pillow talk. After all that she has done recently, she's back among us, Victor will reply. Are you serious? He'll want to know if she's a threat to people on the property, and Nick will say of course not. She murdered Heather for heaven's sake, Victor will exclaim. A shocked Adam will ask Nick if it's true, and he'll shake his head yes. But he'll say her meds have been mixed up. She burned this damn place down to the ground, Victor will shout. And he'll ask Adam if he thinks Sharon's a threat. You won't listen to me, but you'll listen to him? Nick will ask Victor. What kind of medication makes someone homicidal? Adam will ask. But Nick will say she's been having blackouts, including the night Heather Stevens was killed and the night of Phyllis' accident. The Sharon that we know, she's not dangerous or vengeful, he'll add. Victor will change the subject and tell his sons he finally has control of Chancellor. So he'll ask Adam to spread the news and announce that Nikki Newman will be heading it up. I am very happy to announce that Billy's soul-crushing loss will be the Newman family's gain, Adam will reply. At the GCAC bar, Sally and Billy will decide to head up to her suite. They'll have sex and then engage in some pillow talk. I find you very attractive, so I was kinda hoping we'd end up here, Sally will tell him. Billy will say he was wondering what took them so long. Sally will say she's hungry, and they'll decide to head downstairs for some chow. Meanwhile, Victor and Adam will be downstairs discussing glissade. Adam will ask his father if his payback on Jack Abbott is over, and he'll smile. Then he'll get a phone call, just as Billy and Sally come down. They'll share a kiss in the lobby, and a stunned Adam will watch them. Young and the Restless scoop. Phyllis learns Daniel's name is cleared. From her hospital bed, Phyllis will see Summer, Daniel, and Lucy Romalotti smiling down at her. I don't remember, she'll say to them. Lucy will ask if she remembers who they are, and she'll say their names. Summer will tell her mom she was unconscious. Elena Dawson will rush in and check Phyllis' vitals. She'll tell Phyllis' family her disorientation is already starting to subside. Phyllis will say she remembers there was fire, and she heard Nick's voice. What happened? She'll ask them. So Summer will say Daniel is no longer a suspect in Heather's death. You were right, it was Sharon all along, Daniel will tell a thrilled Phyllis. Finally, Chance Chancellor will arrive and ask to come in. He'll say he's there in an official capacity and wants to ask her questions about the accident. Lucy, Daniel, and a reluctant Summer will leave them alone. Chance will tell Phyllis that Sharon's already out on bail. Phyllis will ask Chance who's representing her, and she'll be beside herself when she learns it's Michael Baldwin. My Michael Baldwin, she'll ask him. Phyllis will remind Chance that Sharon framed her son for a murder she herself committed. So let's talk about how I was run off the road by somebody, she'll add. Sharon did that too, didn't she? But Chance will say Sharon has no recollection of the accident. He'll ask Phyllis what she remembers. There were lights, high beams, she'll say, but she doesn't recall much else. Suddenly, Phyllis will ask where her phone is, just as Nick arrives. She'll tell Chance that Sharon texted her, asking to meet. Oh my God, she set me up. She was trying to lure me onto the road so I would plow into a tree, she'll add. Oh my God, Sharon tried to kill me. Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, November 22 indicate some massive bombshells as fans head into the weekend. Next on Young and the Restless. Someone gets a new gig, while two characters fight temptation, and a cop uncovers some damaging evidence. What kind of drama is set to unravel on Friday? Time to dive right in. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Victor Newman makes an announcement. Y and R spoilers for Friday, November 22, reveal that as Victor Newman has officially acquired Chancellor, he'll be ready to make an announcement. Sounds like he'll let the world know that his wife, Nikki Newman, will become the company's CEO, so how will Genoa City react when the news hits? Y and R spoilers, silly sizzling night. Speaking of Chancellor, Y and R spoilers for Friday, November 22 imply that the company's former CEO, Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, will fight temptation with Sally Spectra. Sounds like Billy and Sally will surrender to some desires and move the get-together they were having at the GCAC bar during Thursday's episode to Sally's suite. Fans should brace themselves for some sizzling scenes as Billy and Sally finally hit the sheets. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Chance Chancellor uncovers damaging evidence. Lastly, Y and R spoilers for Friday's show reveal that Chance Chancellor will find some evidence that links Sharon Newman to one of his investigations. But which case is it? Heather Stevens' murder or Phyllis Summers' car accident? Either way, fans should brace themselves for more drama coming Sharon's way, and far more animosity coming from Phyllis. While she woke up during Thursday's show, she may be happy to hear that the charges have been dropped against Daniel Romalotti. However, she won't be happy that Sharon is out on bail, or that Michael Baldwin is her attorney. How long before Ian Ward and Jordan are exposed? From the sounds of it, fans have a long road ahead. Are you excited about Friday's episode? Join the conversation below. Tune into the CBS Soap Daily to catch all the drama in Genoa City, and visit SOS for the best Young and the Restless spoilers, updates, and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers recap for Friday, November 22, reveals that Victor Newman will summon Adam Newman and Nick Newman to the ranch, where he'll rant about Sharon Newman being out on bail and back on the Newman property. When Victor asks if Sharon still poses a threat to any of them, Nick will rush to her defense. Victor will want Adam's opinion too, since he once had a special connection with Sharon, but Nick will argue it was more like Adam's manipulation. Although Adam will act like Sharon has a darkness in her that Nick refuses to recognize, Nick will warn him to stop projecting. Nick will blame Sharon's messed up meds and will still seem somewhat skeptical despite her confession to the cops. Afterward, Victor will talk about the Chancellor takeover and Nikki Newman's leadership, so he'll want Adam to spread the news across all platforms. Adam will look forward to highlighting Billy Abbott's failure as part of that plan. At the GCAC, Sally Spectra will take Billy up to her suite, where they'll strip down for passion. Once they're done, Billy and Sally will spend some time canoodling in bed together. Sally and Billy will acknowledge that if this had happened any sooner, it would have looked like a revenge hookup. Although Sally will admit it's nice to prove she's moving on, she'll make it clear that she's very attracted to Billy. Likewise, Billy will hint that some subconscious part of him knows this would make Adam's head explode, but he'll assure Sally that what just happened was all about her. After showering together and getting dressed, Sally and Billy will decide to head back down to the dining area for dinner. While Adam's sitting at a table with Victor, he'll look over at Sally kissing Billy by the stairs and fume at the sight of their cozy moment. At the hospital, Daniel Romalotti Jr. will dash off to find Elena Dawson, while Summer Newman and Lucy Romalotti talk to Phyllis Summers. Although Lucy will worry that Phyllis doesn't remember them, Phyllis will call Lucy and Summer by name to confirm that she indeed does. However, Phyllis will be hazy about the crash and will get agitated due to how disoriented she is. Elena will speak with Phyllis alone and check her vitals before giving Daniel, Summer, and Lucy some positive updates. At one point, Summer will also call Nick to let him know Phyllis is awake, so he'll vow to be right over. Once Phyllis finds out Daniel has been cleared, she'll be relieved. Phyllis will hear all about how Sharon confessed to causing Heather Stevens' demise and framing Daniel. On Friday's I and R episode, Chance Chancellor will eventually show up to question Phyllis, who'll slowly start to remember more about the crash and the fiery outcome. Phyllis will repeatedly lash out at Chance for not listening to her about Sharon's guilt. When Chance reveals that Sharon is out on bail and being represented by Michael Baldwin, Phyllis will be appalled. Although Phyllis won't be able to recall who ran her off the road, she'll vow to remember and will make a prediction about nailing Sharon. After Chance asks more questions about the events leading up to the crash, Phyllis will suddenly ask for her phone. Once Phyllis recalls that Sharon texted her, she'll act like Sharon lured her into a trap and suggest it's proof Sharon tried to kill her. The Young and the Restless spoilers say things will get worse for Sharon before they get better, but some big twists will change everything sooner or later. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, November 22, prove that Love the One You're With is the song of the year in Genoa City. Billy dumped Chelsea, and Sally dumped Adam. So naturally, Silly is next on the agenda. Lips together, teeth apart. There is a very good reason why Sally and Billy shouldn't get together. The official reason is that they are both on the rebound, and both still in love with their respective exes, Adam and Chelsea. The unofficial reason is because nobody wants this couple. On the show, though, Sally and Billy feel a deep, not at all revengey attraction, but have decided to stay away from each other because, reasons. They're friends. Their history is too messy. It would upset Connor. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. We have lost track by now of all the companies Victor has bought, sold, traded, stolen, and given away. All we know is that his latest plan involves removing Nikki from her role as head of Newman Media, a role she loved and wanted, and instead making her head of Chancellor Industries, a role Nikki repeatedly told Victor she didn't want. Victor just reminded Nikki that he does everything he does for her, so take this job and love it. What do we have here? Sharon confessed to killing Heather. Now, Chance has found evidence that confirms Sharon killed Heather. Well, that was easy. Too easy, some might say, especially with Jordan and Ian lurking around, eating steak and laughing maniacally. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that many fans were overjoyed to see the return of a villainous duo. Naturally, we're talking about devious Jordan and the equally conniving Ian Ward now that they're scheming together in Genoa City. In a new interview with Sod, Y&R head writer and executive producer Josh Griffith admitted that Sharon Newman was never intended to be Heather Stevens' actual killer. Sharon was not going to be a murderer, Griffith said. That's why we very carefully laid it out, so that we did not see the actual murder, and we had her wake up and find Heather's body. Josh Griffith eventually settled on Jordan and Ian's surprise partnership, which became a major revelation for the audience. The goal was for the audience to see these criminal masterminds together and immediately know they must be to blame. Griffith confessed that he was pleased with fans who quickly realized something was off about Sharon blacking out before discovering the body. It was supposed to be a huge clue that things weren't quite as they seemed. Of course, Sharon isn't totally innocent, at least based on what's played out so far. We can't forget that Sharon got rid of the body and ultimately framed Daniel Romalotti Jr., Michael Graziati, to make it look like he was responsible for Heather's demise. On social media, plenty of viewers have been pointing all that out and insisting they're not willing to give Sharon a total pass. Sharon may not be guilty of wiping Heather off the map or causing Phyllis Summers' crash, but she still played a huge role in Daniel and Lucy Romalotti's suffering. However, Josh Griffith insisted more twists are coming that'll help undo the damage to Sharon's character. If you're feeling like Sharon's character has been ruined or at least derailed significantly, just give the show a little time to turn things around. I knew that was going to be a tricky move to play, but once other levels of what's happened to her and what Ian and Jordan have set in motion come to light, fans can be able to breathe another sigh of relief, Griffith promised. It sounds like Jordan and Ian may have had a hand in Sharon's altered meds fiasco and driven her down this out-of-control path. Sharon clearly hasn't been in her right mind, so it may be revealed that Ian and Jordan are to blame for that too. Our and our predictions point to Sharon facing tons of shocking news once the depth of Ian and Jordan's deception is exposed. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sharon's character will undergo a major cleanup as even more revelations come to light. So stick with us for updates on all shockers ahead. Young and the Restless comings and goings confirm a big change for Melissa Ordway and her character Abby Newman. Meanwhile, two villains resurface and a fan fave returns to Y&R. Check out the latest casting updates for the CBS soap opera. Young and the Restless comings and goings. Abby Newman shocker. Recently on Young and the Restless, the Abby Newman actress, Melissa Ordway, shared an update with her fans while answering questions on Instagram. One of the questions was about her gorgeous, short new haircut. Melissa revealed she needed a change because she is no longer on contract with Y&R, so she wanted a fresh new look for auditions. Then, the news took on a life of its own on social media. Fans worried that the character of Abby would be leaving Young and the Restless. Indeed, It comes as a shock seeing as she just married the love of her life, Devon Hamilton, on the show. Thankfully, Melissa confirmed that she's still on the soap with no plans of leaving. She loves playing Abby and she loves her fans. So hopefully, the fact that she isn't on contract won't impact her screen time too much. Of course, Abby and Devon will be away on their honeymoon for a while on Young and the Restless. But after that, we're hoping to still see Abby Newman frequently with a new storyline. My&R casting updates. Elena Dawson back in town. While Abby Newman takes a step back, Dr. Elena Dawson is on the Young and the Restless scene again. Currently, she's tending to Phyllis Summers, who's unconscious in the hospital. She sustained serious injuries from the car crash with Sharon Newman. Sadly, Elena tells Phyllis' children, Daniel Romalotti and Summer Newman, that there's nothing more the doctors can do. It's up to Phyllis now. Additionally, it looks like Elena Dawson is also back with a big surprise for her ex-boyfriend, Nate Hastings. Young and the Restless spoilers suggest she tells Nate she found out she was pregnant after their split. So, Nate may soon find out he's a new daddy. If so, that will undoubtedly impact his romantic relationship with Audra Charles. She doesn't like complications, so a new baby in the mix might be too much for Audra to handle. Young and the Restless casting news. Jordan Howard returns with Ian Ward. Also, mega villains Ian Ward and Jordan Howard recently popped back up. It turns out they are the ones responsible for Sharon Newman's breakdown. They set her up for the murder of Heather Stevens, and now it appears they're trying to do the same thing with Phyllis, and it just might work on Young and the Restless. Because spoilers promise there's shocking new evidence against Sharon soon. My&R is exploding with drama. Don't miss a minute to see if Abby Newman stays front and center, or if she'll disappear on the CBS Sudser. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that it'll soon be Jordan's turn to benefit from the crisscross partnership that Ian Ward launched. So far, we've only seen Ian handing down orders while Jordan carries them out, but Ian will hopefully keep his end of the bargain and grant her wishes too. Of course, Ian already did a huge favor for Jordan by getting her out of prison with the help of an identity swap. Ian, on the other hand, was released from prison since he's served his time and is believed to be rehabilitated. It's clear that Ian isn't reformed at all, but all that matters is he's a free man. At some point, Ian may finally start roaming around Genoa City, at least in some little corner of the park or somewhere else that might allow him to target Claire Newman. Jordan has a family problem that Ian has promised to help take care of, so Claire's definitely going to get dragged into some drama. In 2015, Ian duped Phyllis Summers by pretending he was a fisherman widower named Fred. This might be a good opportunity to revive that fake identity and give fans a fun blast from the past. It's easy to imagine Fred introducing himself to Claire and deceiving her about who he really is. Fred might talk about having a complicated new woman in his life and get Claire to offer up some advice. Perhaps Fred could strike up a friendship with Claire and ultimately use it to lure her into a trap. Maybe Fred could make sure he crosses paths with Claire a few times and eventually catch her off guard by snatching her. Then again, Fred might distract Claire so that Jordan can carry out the kidnapping herself. No matter how this plays out, our My&R predictions indicate that Ian will inevitably prove he's a master manipulator. It makes sense that Ian might take advantage of Claire's naivety and good heart, so we'll see if sweet old Fred makes a comeback for this storyline. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Claire will be thrown for a loop once Jordan and Ian's plot is exposed, so stick with us for updates on all the wild news that's coming up. CDL's where you want to be for the hottest Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, news, and updates, so visit us often for more Y&R info. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Audra Charles may soon see another opportunity to fight for control of Glissade. After all the work Audra put in wrangling that company away from Tucker McCall, She was furious when Victor Newman yanked her leadership role away. Audra thought she was going to run Glissade alone, but then Victor forced her to work with Kyle Abbott before ultimately giving Audra the boot. However, things have changed once again now that Victor has transferred ownership of Glissade over to Diane Jenkins Abbott. Audra is one of Diane's least favorite people, but that may not stop her from going to Diane and making a pitch at some point. Since Victor has obviously rigged this Glissade transfer to backfire on Diane somehow, maybe Audra could swoop in and help her. After all, Audra knows insider secrets when it comes to Glissade and might be able to figure out Victor's shady move before it blows up. If Audra can thwart Victor's strategy, that might score her a few points and at least earn her some consideration for the Glissade CEO gig. That said, Billy Abbott could also use something to do now that he's out at Chancellor. Jack Abbott couldn't give Billy the Jabot co-CEO job, so what if he eventually suggests to Diane that Billy should run Glissade? Billy honestly doesn't do well in charge on his own, so Y&R may have the potential for a partnership here. Could Audra and Billy strike a dangerous Glissade deal? It's always risky to work with Audra since she never truly stops looking out for number one. Billy would have to watch his back, but Audra might have to do the same since he can be pretty conniving when he wants to be. That said, Audra and Billy might make good business partners if they can trust each other enough. Making Glissade a smashing success would be a nice way to get back at Victor and make him regret letting the company go so easily. Plus, Billy and Audra could grow closer, which might leave the door open for a romantic pairing. It could lead to Audra betraying Nate Hastings and Billy betraying Sally Spectra as those relationships deepen down the line. Whatever the case, Billy and Audra could both use jobs right about now. Audra and Billy also have the collective expertise needed to run Glissade, so they might make the company a surprise force to be reckoned with. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the future of Glissade remains uncertain, so we'll bring you more leadership predictions and updates on any important news about the road ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers have revealed that Sharon Newman has finally come clean about what happened to Heather Stevens. Sharon has finally opened up to Nick Newman about how she believes that night went down in the apartment. Sharon even opened up about framing Daniel Romalotti for Heather's death. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Nick Newman was horrified by Sharon Case's story. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Nick cannot believe that Sharon could do anything so heinous. Nick listened to Sharon's account of everything that she believes went down. Unfortunately, Nick was forced to call Chancellor to come and listen to Sharon's confession. Nick also hired a lawyer for Sharon as well. Sharon knew way too many details about what happened to Heather. Sharon even talked about dropping the body into the river and pretending that Heather was a free Daniel. Little does Sharon know that there is far more to this story that she remembers. Will Sharon finally remember who else was there? Y&R spoilers. Nick Newman realizes that something is wrong. Nick knows that something just isn't right about this situation. Nick cannot believe that Sharon would have run Sharon off the road either. Sharon would not have left the scene of an accident like she believes she did. Faith Newman and Maria Copeland cannot believe that their mother did this either. Fans now know that Ian Ward and Jordan were behind Heather's demise. However, fans do not know the reason behind this yet. What are Ian and Jordan up to? Why did Heather need to die to make their plan work? Why do Ian and Jordan need Heather out of the way after all this time? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Sharon Newman refuses a defense. Sharon wants nothing to do with a defense, and she has told Michael Baldwin as much. Sharon will try to hide her hallucinations and blackouts from Michael as well. Sharon should soon either end up going to jail or to a treatment facility soon. Phyllis Summers is still in the hospital, which could cause more drama. Nick will likely feel even more like he needs to protect Sharon before his future is decided. This could very easily push them together. Sharon has been having fantasies about herself and Nick for some time. Nick and Sharon could fall into bed together and make love for old time's sake. Will these exes end up dancing in the sheets and reigniting their romance before Sharon goes to prison? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that head writer/executive producer Josh Griffith recently discussed the Sharon Newman twist. Speaking with Soap Opera Digest, the scribe hinted that Daniel Romalotti jurors' loved ones will go to extremes to get justice. With Daniel vowing revenge, could he come up with a killer retaliation scheme? With Sharon actually being innocent of murder, things are about to get explosive. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Sharon Newman's confession. Y&R spoilers reveal that Sharon finally confessed to her crimes. After Phyllis Summer's fiery crash, Sharon had a wake-up call. Sharon isn't sure exactly what happened on the road with Phyllis. However, fans know that Jordan and Ian Ward are involved. Meanwhile, Nick Newman has asked Michael Baldwin to defend Sharon. However, Sharon isn't exactly willing to help with her defense. Sharon just wants to pay for her crimes. The only problem is that Sharon didn't actually kill Heather Stevens. Sharon also likely didn't run Phyllis off the road, although she is guilty of framing Daniel. Y&R spoilers, Chance Chancellor's excuse. As Genoa City reels over Sharon's confession and arrest, Michael has managed to get her out on bail. While Phyllis did wake up after getting a visit from Lucy Romalotti, what would she say about the accident? Phyllis might tell everyone that she crashed because she kept getting serial text messages from Sharon. Then a car, most likely very similar to Sharon's, ran Phyllis off the road. Summer Newman already dumped Chance Chancellor over him for not doing enough. Chance never followed up on Phyllis' theory and never did anything about Sharon breaking into the hotel room. While Chance was just doing his job, he also is very cocky about it not being his fault. So Chance might regret his fight with Summer and realize he should have done more. Could Chance use this as an opportunity to find the real killer? The Young and the Restless spoilers, Daniel Romalotti Jr.'s darkness. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Griffith talked about how the Jordan/Ian twist affects the storyline moving forward. The head writer confirmed that Phyllis does wake up, which happened in the Thursday, November 21, 2024 episode, but she hasn't said anything yet. Griffith laid out that Phyllis will not give up on her fight to make Sharon pay. Even though Sharon confessed, Phyllis will now view her as ruining Daniel's life. We've now gotten to a point where, in Phyllis' mind, Sharon has tried to ruin Daniel's life, and now it's come all the way to her being targeted, to the point where she's even tried to kill me. So Phyllis is just going to be a firebrand of anger and desire to see Sharon pay. Until something throws another wrench into that. Get ready, I've got a couple more wrenches to throw. Y&R spoilers, Deadly Battle. It sounds like Phyllis and Daniel might work together to make Sharon pay. The only problem is that Sharon isn't actually guilty. So what happens when Phyllis and Daniel go too far? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Kyle Abbott is in no mood to forgive. Claire Newman's best efforts to persuade the man she's falling in love with failed. Kyle's threat to tip Victor Newman off surprised and angered Jack Abbott. He didn't expect his son to suggest siding with the moustache after Victor agreed to wrong him. But something Kyle said makes sense. Jack couldn't deny that Victor may double down if he learns that he's been duped by Bergman's character and Diane Abbott. The Young and the Restless spoilers, the Claire Newman effect. Claire is serving as a calming influence on Kyle, who's come to trust her implicitly. Yet, he can't wrap his mind around what his parents revealed. Their claims of love and protection from Victor didn't resonate. The comment Claire made about always being angry hit home, but she needed to realize the impact as was hoped. The relationship Kyle and Claire are developing is real, and should continue past whatever happens between him, Jack, and Diane in the short term. In the long term, a projection of Claire marrying Kyle and becoming Harrison Abbott's stepmother is realistic. The young and the restless spoilers, Victor Newman set up Diane Abbott. Victor made a cryptic statement to his wife. He said that Diane needs to realize what she's been given. That implied he'd given her a poisoned glissade. Nikki was somewhat satisfied with that explanation, as was the audience. Of course, Kyle stole proprietary information from Abbott and provided it to Glissade's chemists. He told Victor that all bases were covered and told Jack that nothing nefarious could be proven. It's reasonable to believe that the appropriated Abbott formula will create a legal problem Diane can't avoid. But if Victor doesn't learn that she's been conspiring with Jack, then no lawsuit would come. So Victor's plan to sabotage Diane could be different from what viewers can determine. The young and the restless spoilers, Kyle Abbott needs time. Coming scenes indicate that Diane will relent. She'll attempt to make peace with her son through a grand gesture. No, she won't rebuild a home they used to live in. That's a hard wink to Victor's great ranch house gift to Nikki before the family wedding. Instead, Diane can only try to right what's happened by allowing Kyle to take her role at Abbott. If she plans to keep Glissade, stepping down so Jack can reinstall Kyle as his co-head is plausible. However, even that move would be something Kyle would need to consider, and of course, Victor likely has other moves to make. Viewers will soon see the next move in this tricky game, with Jack and Diane trying to outwit Victor and hopefully restore Kyle's trust in their family. The young and the restless spoilers, the great escape. It was a day like any other in Genoa City, or so it seemed. Victor Newman, ever the vigilant and calculating businessman, found himself in the midst of an unsettling realization. The person sitting in the jail cell, the one everyone had believed to be Jordan, wasn't her. The resemblance was uncanny, the same sharp cheekbones, piercing eyes, and commanding demeanor. But Victor had learned long ago not to trust appearances. As he stood closer, his sharp instincts kicked in. There was something off, something subtle but undeniable. It wasn't until the woman spoke that the truth hit him like a freight train. Her voice lacked Jordan's distinctive timbre and cadence. The imposter was convincing, but not convincing enough for Victor Newman. He immediately alerted the authorities. "You've made a grave mistake," he said, his voice laced with controlled fury. The officers exchanged confused glances, but as they began their own interrogation, the truth unraveled. This wasn't Jordan, it was a decoy, a pawn in a larger, more dangerous game. Jordan had escaped, but how? And, more importantly, why hadn't anyone noticed until now? A missing child. As the news of Jordan's escape rippled through the community, another shockwave struck. Aria, Mariah's young daughter, was missing. The announcement sent a cold chill through Genoa City. Sharon had taken her granddaughter to the park that morning, eager to enjoy a peaceful outing. But when she turned her head for just a moment, Aria had vanished. Panic overtook her as she searched the playground, calling the child's name with increasing desperation. The police were called, and soon the entire park was cordoned off. Maria and Tessa arrived moments later, their faces pale with fear and anger. Tessa, usually calm and composed, was a whirlwind of emotion. She rounded on Sharon the second she saw her. "How could you let this happen?" she screamed, tears streaming down her face. "You were supposed to keep her safe." Sharon, devastated and overwhelmed with guilt, tried to explain. "I just turned around for a second. She was right there." Her voice broke, but her words did little to appease Tessa, who lunged forward as if to physically lash out. Maria stepped in, holding Tessa back, though her own grief and anger were barely contained. The scene was chaotic, raw with emotion. Sharon, once a trusted matriarch, now found herself at the center of everyone's blame. Victor's revelation. Victor stood to the side, watching the unfolding drama with narrowed eyes. Unlike the others, he wasn't convinced this was simply a case of negligence. His mind was already working, connecting the dots. Jordan's escape, Aria's disappearance. The timing was too coincidental to ignore. "I'll bet everything I own that Jordan is behind this," he muttered to Nikki, who stood beside him. Nikki nodded, her expression grave. But why would she take Aria? What's her endgame? Victor didn't have an answer, not yet, but he knew Jordan's actions were never random. There was always a motive, a plan. And while his instincts told him she was the mastermind, another possibility nagged at the back of his mind. The suspects, Daniel and Lucy, were also in Genoa City. Their relationships with Mariah, Tessa, and Sharon were strained to the breaking point. Old grudges had resurfaced and tensions were high. Could they have been involved? Victor hated to admit it, but they had motive, resentment, and a deep dislike for the others. Still, kidnapping a child seemed far out of character for them, no matter how bitter they might be. Yet the question lingered. If not them, who else could have taken Aria, and why? The hunt begins. The police, now aware of their mistake with Jordan, doubled their efforts. Officers were dispatched to track her down, while others scoured the park and its surrounding areas for any sign of Aria. Time was of the essence, and the entire city seemed to hold its breath. Victor, never one to sit idly by, took matters into his own hands. He called his private investigators, demanding updates every hour. "If Jordan has Aria, we need to find her before she does something we can't undo," he barked into the phone. Meanwhile, Sharon, consumed by guilt, refused to leave the park. She combed through every bush, every corner, desperate to find any trace of her granddaughter. Maria and Tessa, though angry, joined her. Their shared grief momentarily overrode their animosity. Jordan's shadow. Unbeknownst to them, Jordan was already far away, watching the chaos she had orchestrated. She smiled to herself, satisfied with the results. Aria wasn't just a random target, she was a pawn, a bargaining chip for whatever twisted game Jordan planned to play. But what Jordan didn't anticipate was Victor Newman's relentless determination. As the hours ticked by, Victor's investigators uncovered a crucial lead. A surveillance camera near the park had captured a glimpse of Jordan. Disguised, but recognizable to those who knew her, she had been there, lurking, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Victor shared the news with the police, urging them to act swiftly. "She's already one step ahead of us," he warned. "We can't afford to fall any further behind." The fallout? Back in Genoa City, the tension among the families reached a boiling point. Sharon, already shattered by guilt, became the scapegoat for everyone's anger. Maria and Tessa were inconsolable, their grief manifesting as blame. Even Nikki, ever the mediator, found it hard to defend Sharon's actions. Daniel and Lucy, though uninvolved, couldn't hide their disdain for the others. Their coldness only fueled suspicions, creating an atmosphere of distrust and fear. But Victor remained focused. He knew emotions wouldn't solve the problem, only action would. A race against time. As night fell, the search intensified. Victor, leading the charge, made a vow to himself. He would bring Aria home, no matter what it took. But with Jordan still at large and her motives unclear, the stakes couldn't be higher. The question now wasn't just whether they could find Aria, it was whether they could do so before it was too late. Actor Jason Thompson is known by fans for his work on The Young and the Restless. However, he recently shared a video of himself, showcasing a recent leg injury. Since then, fans and even some of Thompson's castmates have shown their concern. Jason Thompson got hurt just ahead of his birthday. Jason Thompson is a Canadian actor who first came to prominence in the world of soaps playing Dr. Patrick Drake on General Hospital. He also appeared in the spin-off, General Hospital, Night Shift. Thompson would leave General Hospital towards the start of 2016. That same year, he ended up joining The Young and the Restless as Billy Abbott, having taken on the role from Burgess Jenkins. Taking to Instagram, the actor released a video just ahead of his 48th birthday. Unfortunately, he also shared some troubling news. Thompson shared that, "It's Tuesday today. Tomorrow is Wednesday. It's my birthday. I'm turning 48, and I got the perfect birthday present on Saturday afternoon." He then commented it was the perfect reminder that I'm getting a little long in the tooth. "I was playing adult league soccer, 15 minutes into my warm-up, taking some shots on the goalie and pop. Felt it, heard it, really, really uncomfortable." The actor began to show a bruise on his leg. He also joked, "I mean purple all the way gnarliness." Even other Y and R castmates commented on the post. Thompson also assured fans he would receive medical treatment for the bruise. As he shared, "Told my doctor, what are you gonna do except take it as a lesson to be better? Dr. Locke, I'm coming to see you." Fans were quick to share their concerns with the star. As one user wrote, "Oh my gosh, that looks terrible. I'm so sorry. Getting old sucks. I turn 52 next month. Sending positive healing vibes your way." She also added in a reply, "Happy birthday." Another user assured Thompson, "You're just a baby." As they continued, "I just had my 74th birthday a few days ago. I had to learn to walk backwards up steep hills, doctor's orders, to return 2 broken ankles back to their glory days. I'm up to 6 miles per day. So buck up, kiddo, even though you are adorable." Some fans also tried to offer advice. One user suggested arnica gel will help with pain, inflammation, and dissipation of the bruise. Another asked if the actor was on crutches. As noted by Soaps, Thompson's castmates also showed concern. Melissa Claire Egan, who plays Chelsea on The Young and the Restless, wrote, "And you let me complain about my shoulder today." Michael Graziadei, who plays Daniel, also asked, "WTF? They gonna have to amputate?" Michael Fairman, using the Michael Fairman TV account, also wrote, "Jason, I've been through it when my bicep ruptured off. Ugh, it sucks getting old, doesn't it? Hang in there. Happy belated birthday." Did you see Jason Thompson's post? Make sure you come back to Show's Ace for all the latest in celebrity news. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that Sharon Newman is singing like a canary about Heather Stevens and Phyllis Summers' misfortunes. As a result, GC is taking sides, and there are 2 people with vested interests who may find themselves caught up in this ugly war. It's looking like Sharon is simply the fall guy for both of these tragedies, but given her current Rama Lama Ding Dong state, it makes perfect sense to her and everyone else that she did bad things, which could prove very dangerous in the coming days. The Young and the Restless spoilers, did Sharon Unilev Heather? This week, Sharon spilled her guts to Daniel Romalotti after absolving him of killing Heather. Now he can concentrate on helping his daughter Lucy Romalotti, but he still wants justice done. My and our spoilers. Daniel Romalotti wants justice. In the Monday, November 18 episode, Faith Newman reeled over the news that her mom could have killed Heather, and she pointed a finger of blame at Phyllis. Fans don't think that Phyllis' daughter Summer Newman is going to let this go. Nick Newman could have his hands full trying to mediate an ugly situation between his daughters, as the drama is not going to improve anytime soon. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Nick Newman has his hands full. For the most part, Faith and Summer have avoided falling into the same war zone as their mothers. But we're seeing more and more of Faith and Summer. Well, Summer is always ready to go off on someone. What if Faith overhears Summer bad-mouthing her mom? Or if Summer hears Faith say something untoward about Red? Let's face it, these 2 Spitfires are mini-me's of their respective mothers, and we see some possible storm clouds brewing on the horizon. I and our spoilers. Villains team up. Ian Ward and Jordan are behind the shenanigans going on in GC, but no one is savvy to this intel just yet. In the meantime, the stage could be being set for a sisterly rivalry, with Faith and Summer taking sides and names. What do you think of this possibility, Y and R fans?